exactly.
They still got to do it though, Reno? Now let's go back back to 2003, which was when the last time that New Zealand won the World Cup. Now I remember quite distinctly. This was the biggest thing. I remember, what's her name? Timapara George, Reno. She was, I don't know, was she sin-binned or something? She was sent off in a final in the Netball World Cup. First time probably ever. That is one of the things that I remember from that particular World Cup. You must remember that too, Reno?
Yeah, I do remember it really well. And that was one of the telling moments of that, and to turn things around at that tournament, to win that and come home with it. Look, I remember the ticker tape parade going up to Auckland at the Aotea Square when they all arrived and came out, and Timapara was most one of the hottest Māori girls going around in 2003, and she was like a little Miss Universe student walking out there on the catwalk to walk out the trophy, because she knew there were a few things that kind of could have turned that final around. It was good to catch up with the coach who I knew very well as well, Ruth Aiken.
Yeah.
Idol lady, and still here in town now. And I caught up with Ruth on Monday after the Silver Ferns had won that World Cup, because she was a coach previously 16 years ago when they did win it. And the Idol Netball Centre still has a massive mould of the World Cup trophy down there. But it was just huge. And she touched on that moment actually, Keithy.
Yeah.
And just tells you, but she had so much admiration for Nolene.
Yeah.
With what she's done, the accolades have come through, and it will be interesting, like she said, to see when Nolene goes forward with Netball New Zealand. But that's a long time, mate. 16 years. What was the Rugby World Cup? 87 to what was it? Like bloody 20 years or something? 20 odd years?
24 probably. 22 maybe.
Yeah, so it's a long time.
It's a long time.
It's a long time between drinks. Dang, 2011 is it?
Yeah. 2011.
Celebrate and savor the moment. But I do remember that. I was like you, Keithy. We were both in love with Timapara.
True that. JT, do you remember much of the 2003 World Cup at all?
Can, mate, because there was lots of rugby league players playing for Australia. Everyone was saying, look, the All Blacks will run roughshod, this and that, So they had Matt Rogers, they had Wendell Saylor, and they had the other fella, Lottie Takiri. So they came out and made the final, and they just fell short. But I remember being in New Zealand at the time, and there was a big wave of depression hit the country. I think I was the only one smiling, boys, for some reason.
Right. Thanks for that memory.
I teed up a game of golf with my grandmother. My grandmother is a staunch rugby All Black supporter, and myself, not to hoots about rugby, but I remember going to the golf course and saying, "Yeah, go Aussie, blah blah blah," all the rest of it. Because typically of New Zealand media, they pumped up, the leaguey boys won't do anything, rah. And correct me if I'm wrong, I think out of the three leagueies, and I'm saying Matt Rogers, Wendell Saylor, and Lottie Takiri, I'm pretty sure two of them scored tries in that game. So, look, it is what it is. I'm sitting here with a bunch of rugby fans from the East Coast, and I'm trying to be as polite as I can, but, viva la league.
Fair enough, JT. Only you would switch from netball to rugby league just at a blink of an eye, eh? I'll tell you what, though.
I'm sorry about netball.
Yes, we would.
I do remember that. It was in Jamaica. The World Cup in 2003 was in Jamaica. And I remember it because we won, and I remember, what's the mid-quarter's name?
Timapara George?
The mid-quarter. Timapara George got sent off or got binned in 2003 World Cup final against Australia.
Yes.
I remember Timapara Clark, sorry. I remember cheering hard out, and then we were supposed to go back to work, but I remember getting in trouble because I stayed behind to watch the netball because, look, Australia had won in 99. They won the Commonwealth Games gold medal. So 2003 was a big chance for redemption, And yes, so sorry, boys. Sorry for bringing up rugby, but yes, 2000 in Jamaica, New Zealand won the world title.
I know. It was one hell of a game. I just can remember, when Temepara got sent off, and boy, because she was just fired up throughout that game, wasn't she, Reno? She was just so super fired up, and then she got sent off. And boy, I remember the Jamaican crowd then. They were just on the refs like anything. There were boos throughout the whole stadium. Then she came back on, and boy, did she rip, really rip into Aussie, didn't she, Reno?
Yeah, and that's what we remember. We still talk about it now, mate, 16 years later, and that's what she'll be remembered for. And whether it was Temepara Clark, George Bailey, or whatever she is now, I think it was Clark back then. But that's something that will go down. Even if she was to write in autobiography, it would feature that moment heavily, especially in that World Cup, and especially the highlight which tops it up is winning that trophy in Jamaica and coming back home. So savor those moments, mate. They're very few and far when you win something like that.
No, that's very true. That's very true indeed. Now, I'm not sure if you remember that particular Netball World Cup there yourself there, Raa?
No, I can't say I would keep you. I think I do, remember smidgens, but not in its entirety. Me and netball, I'm not too familiar with the game itself. I think now that our girls are in the limelight, I reckon they need that exposure.
Oh, well, now that Sky's on board, they'll probably get that exposure there, Reno? Or at least a bit more of it.
I'd say so. I think things will grow. I think the expectations too, the next time they're going to meet the Australian Diamonds or the England Roses team, the expectations from us now as a country, now they've secured the World Cup, is going to be huge. Just hope they can deliver, because from here upwards, it's going to be a hard slog. They went down 1 a couple of games prior to their final, beat the English Roses by 2, and then beat the Aussies, got them back by 1, so they learnt something. The reality of this win too is on back-to-back games. You played England the night before. That was a hard-out game, mate.
That
and then
was
you got to back
hard.
up the next day for the final.
Yeah, I know.
So they did it the tough way. All the teams, not just the civil teams.
Exactly.
All the teams.
Exactly. No, well, I saw the replay of the South Africa-Australia game, and I tell you what, that was a tough game too. And I saw just how much pressure the Aussies put on the South Africans. They put a heck of a lot of pressure on the South Africans. When I was watching that game, I was thinking, gosh, because it was the day before, I think, the final. And I was thinking, wow, this is going to be a real tough game for our Kiwi girls. And boy, was it what! But that South African team, man, they even they did really, really well. Quite frankly, was one heck of a game in that semi-final against Australia, and they were only 2 points off the pace. There, Reno. Great game.
Yeah, and I think that's the key to that whole tournament, being back-to-back games. The girls are in everyone's frame of mind was great in netball, and they knew what they had to work on, not had to wait like 2, 3 or 4 days, and then come back and kind of gel together. So kind of worked in one favour, especially for our favour, obviously. And to the credit of South Africa, worked in their favour as well. Didn't work that well for the home team. But you take a look at the other smaller nations like your Trinidad and Tobago's, all these other little teams that had some pretty decent wins, in their tier section as well. So it's not a bad thing. It sounds like it's a tough, it will be tough, but it looks like it works out well. And, mate, that's pretty good going, X amount of games over so many days.
Yeah, absolutely. 10 days, man. Wow. Anyway, we're going to go to a break. We'll be back with more Full-Time right after this. On behalf of the Full-Timers, I would just like to say big thanks to Joachim Currid, who brings us our music intro. Check him out on joachimcurrid.com. He's also on YouTube, Twitter, SoundCloud, Bandcamp, Spotify, Instagram, and follow him on Facebook. Another big thanks goes out to Silent Partner, who brings us our outro. Check out their music on YouTube. And also thanks must go to the Polish Ambassador for the backing music for this promo. Check out the Polish Ambassador on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, Beatport, Instagram, Twitter, and on his website, thepolishambassador.com.
You're listening to a podcast produced by Tūrangi FM, #1 iwi radio station in Aotearoa. We play each full-time session on Tūrangi FM Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. You can listen in live on our Tūrangi FM media page. Just click the main Tūrangi FM logo to tune in online. Or if you're in the Gisborne area, we're on the radio frequencies 91.7, 95.7 and 98.1. Also check out the Full-Time Facebook page where you can listen to the podcast again. Make comments and click links that will lead you to other ways to listen to the podcast, such as Spreaker, iTunes, SoundCloud, Twitter, YouTube, Podchaser and Tumblr. Right, let's get back to the Fools on Full-Time.
Welcome along to the second session here on Full-Time. I want to send another shout out. Going out, of course, to our sponsors, Ray Scrag Motors. They're down there on Grey Street. Now, let's turn our attentions to a bit of NRL action, of course. Boy, I tell you what, hey Reno, there's been some great games over the, last couple of nights, for sure, haven't there?
Yeah, well, when you take a look at the points, mate, it's only a couple of points that break the differences between the last three games. Thursday night, Sean Johnson got accredited for getting the Sharkies home to win 16-14. A couple of crucial passes for SJ and saw the boys win there. The Sharks have a win. Then you move on through to the Knights. This game could have gone either way. Benji Marshall, what a try he got as well. Kalen Punga, that kid's just magic on feet.
Yes.
But West Tigers sneaked the win there by 2 points, 28-26. Not good news for former Warrior Ben Matulino. It does sound like it could be an early retirement for Big Ben after succumbing to a major knee injury, and it doesn't look like he's going to return back to the footy field, which is pretty sad news for the young guy. Then last night, the Rabbitohs, right on the fringe, get out of jail card comes in here, gets the winning try because the Dragons had it over the Rabbits, and the Rabbits win 20-16. Game this afternoon at the new Para Stadium. I don't think Blake Ferguson is playing for the Eels today. There's a bit of controversy going on there. Sounds like the Eels have signed up Sammy Radradra back for $1 million a season. But the Warriors, they need these 2 points. Will be a tough one there. Looks like Harris DeVita is going to play as well. Sounds like Cody Nikorima is ruled out of the Warriors game. So that should be a good game this afternoon. You got the Titans, Broncos, mate. You got JT's big game he's looking forward to, the Storm Sea Eagles, the Doggies, Roosters, Panthers, and Raiders.
Now, the Sharks game, because I was actually able to watch a little bit of it. Now, there was a lot of pressure. And over the last few weeks, there's been a lot of pressure on Sean Johnson, hasn't there, for him to perform. And I guess he really did step up on Thursday night, eh?
Yeah, he did. And you saw Morris talk about it at the end of the media conference. So, overall, SJ had to do it. He knew he was heading down to reserve grade. And, of course, had to step it up because his wife, his fiancée, Kayla, signed for the New South Wales Swifts netball team. So she's got a contract there now, and he's trying to pull it all out because they're pretty well basing themselves there, settling up. And it's just good to see him finally play a good game. And I think things for Sharks fans are happy to see him come out there and run. And any win over the Cowboys. Cowboys haven't been going too bad of recent, so that's a good win for the Sharkies.
Great win from the Tigers also, but it was interesting. I think Kalen Ponga got did he get what do you call it, yellow carded, or he was sent to the sin bin near the end of the game, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. But man, how good is that kid on his feet?
That try! Hey, I mean, how many twinkle?
Like magic.
It was just unreal. Yeah, boy. Tell you what, it was one heck of a try. He certainly is magic. Will there be a bit of concern with that sin binning though? Because honestly, it didn't look like there was too much in it. But, you know.
Nah, not much in it, mate. Not much in it. No, I don't think there'll be much. I'm guessing he'll be back